Mr. Joris van Bommel, Honorable Ambassador of the Kingdom of the Netherlands in Bangladesh, to deliver his address.
Thank you so much. And always a pleasure to work with Brack. I know Brack for a long time in different positions I had before. And I was also just wondering what to mention. There's a speech for me here in front of me, but I think the interaction with you, with students, with others is maybe more important than my speech. But just a couple of remarks, and then if you allow me, if there are some questions from you, it's much more interesting to hear what you want to hear from me. And I'm thinking what you want to hear from me. But in general, I think that the relationship between the Netherlands and Bangladesh is there for a long time. Basically since independence of Bangladesh. And that's also because I believe we are two of a little bit the same kind of countries. Of course in a totally different region, with also some different challenges, but also with some common challenges. We are both countries in Delta, fighting the water, working with the water, working on water management, etc. Which brings us together from the beginning, which brings us together in terms of people, in terms of our institutions, Brack University, other universities in Bangladesh, Dutch universities like Wageningen, the Agriculture University, but also universities working on water management, etc. But also more and more in terms of private sector development in those sectors. So that collaboration between Bangladesh and the Netherlands has been there for a long time and is very strong, because I think we are having the same kind of challenge. We're also two relatively small countries next to very big countries. You besides India and China, we besides Germany, the UK and France, etc. A bit differently, but still it helps us to find our way of building those relationships. Again, if you talk about the water sector in terms of transboundary collaboration, etc. But so these kind of things are important for us and will be important for us in the coming years. However, you see as well a bit of a change from a very much development-oriented relationship between the Netherlands and Bangladesh to what I believe much more a mutual, respected relationship. You can learn from us, but I believe sincerely that the Netherlands can learn a lot from Bangladesh as well. And that collaboration is important. I think you talked about it as well, in finding that relationship between Bangladeshi universities and between Dutch universities. That's very much about that exchange, on how we can work much more together in the future. For us, we see a couple of sectors which are very important, and that's of course the water sector. That's of course the agriculture sector. That's also about circularity and sustainability in the garment industry, but also more and more in the maritime sector, where we do see those opportunities. And again, that's about what we call G2G, government to government, B2B, business to business, but also K to K, knowledge to knowledge, knowledge institution to knowledge institution. And there we see those opportunities to work more and more together. That's one. My second point is indeed, I think what you're doing here at your institution, very much as well on entrepreneurship is important. It is about that link more and more between the private sector, between entrepreneurial skills, between what you're trying to do and government. It is about solving and addressing challenges. Challenges you see in your country, challenges which are not specifically for Bangladesh, but much more broader for worldwide, whether it's about climate, whether it's about water, whether it's about peace and security, whether it's about the Rohingya crisis, etc. And that asks for different kind of competences. That's not just about learning facts. That's very much about understanding, analyzing, assessing challenges. How are we jointly going to address some of those challenges? And I believe that's something that I'm proud of. I used to be a teacher, primary school teacher in the Netherlands. I've been working in the education sector. But I think what we're trying to do is our universities, and that's also where I think there's a nice interaction link as well with Brugge University and others is that we're looking much more for challenge-based learning. What are some of those challenges and how can we address it? If you talk about water, it's not just a simple technical water issue we're trying to address, it's also a management issue which we're trying to address. Or in agriculture, it's not just about increasing productivity, it's also about climate resilience, climate adaptation. That kind of things, I think, makes our education system as well, I wouldn't say unique worldwide, but I think we are proud of what we're trying to do with the University of Wageningen, exactly as you just mentioned, or the University of Delft, or with the Maastricht University of Management, or with ICT in Twente. And that kind of things are very important. Of course, it's also interesting to not only for the quality of the education system to have that relationship, but at university, or for you if you were looking for an opportunity to study for a while in the Netherlands, I think it is also very much about the accessibility. We are a very tiny, small country. There's less people than you have here. We have our own language, the Dutch language, but most of our courses are in English. So it makes it very much accessible. So we have a system where it's easy for international students to come and to work together with other students from other nations, but also with Dutch students. And again, that's also about that quality of that education, the challenge-based learning. It's about groups work. It's not like listening only to a lecture. It's very much working as a group to learn together in that sense. And that's interestingly to do that with more students from different perspectives, from different countries together. My colleague mentioned already, other part we are proud of is that innovation center. Trying to find innovations in agriculture, in water. How does that work? I think we have got some very interesting innovations that you can link to if you're there. And of course, quality of life is nice in the Netherlands, also if you're being a student. My own son was with me, I'm a diplomat, I've been traveling around the world, but he decided to study not somewhere else, but back in the Netherlands. Also quality of life, student life is really good. Having mentioned that, maybe one last remark from my side on, it's not just about a study, continuing a study, or a term in the Netherlands, or doing a PhD or a master's in the Netherlands. I think that link with the private sector is also very important, especially if you're an entrepreneur. That was also in the previous presentation quite important. That's also why we have built, besides the collaboration with other universities, what we call the Orange Corners. And we launched last week as well, the new cohort 6, I believe, for next 3 years. And that's very much giving the chance to entrepreneurs to work together with well-established companies, to learn from them, to do some internships, or to learn about how you build up your business plan. So there are much more possibilities in that sense. There are a couple more remarks I wanted to make, but I just want to check if there are 1 or 2 burning questions from you, what you want me to talk about, if that's allowed. Questions? I'll start with somebody else. Yeah.
So thank you so much for your, I guess I'm audible, right?
For me you are, but I'm not sure for where you're ready for that.
So thank you so much for being here. It was a really great opportunity hearing from you about the Netherlands. So I do not take much time. I just want to ask that how does the Embassy of the Kingdom of the Netherlands support students from the affected countries, conflict-affected countries like Afghanistan, in accessing higher education opportunities, and what are the key eligibility requirements regarding taking visa and also scholarship? Thanks so much.
Thank you very much. Let me answer that directly. I think what we're trying to do in general is looking at the competencies of students. And what we did a couple of years ago, we turned it around. It's not about the visa, it's about being accepted at a university.
Yeah.
So what you need to do is going to the different websites from Dutch universities and study in the Netherlands, study in NL, study in the Netherlands. It's a perfect website. You can link also for for if you want to have a fellowship, etc. If that's available, you go there. So what we did now is you go to what you want to do as a university. You apply to the university. You show your certifications you have already. You show your motivation. If you're then being accepted, then the university will inform our immigration and naturalization service, and then we'll start up the visa process. And in principle, if you're accepted at the university, and if you are a real student who wants to study in the Netherlands and your paperwork is in order, you will get your visa. What happens, and I just took, because there might be some rumors out there as well, what happens also over the last couple of months is that we've been seeing, and it's not only for the Netherlands, that's not only for the EU, is that we get a lot of applicants who want to come to the Netherlands with the argument to study, but not really to study, but to stay there. Which happens a lot, which is understandable if you look for a position, but that's not really what we are looking for in this program. So what we've been doing over the last couple of months is being a bit more strict in really checking. And that means, for example, if somebody comes to our counter at the embassy for a visa to study in the Netherlands, but that person doesn't speak English, that person doesn't have a good justification, or doesn't even know which university or what faculty, only the name of the faculty, then we start to doubt a little bit, is that the right person? And that's where we're getting a little bit more stricter to make sure that students like you, who have been accepted by universities in the Netherlands, have much more chance to get through that and much more faster through the visa process. So there might be some rumors out, but this is the way it is. You don't need an agent. You apply at the university. If you're accepted and your paperwork is in order, it will automatically come to the embassy for your visa. Yeah? Thanks. Maybe you, and then.